I see it.
All right. Welcome everyone to the July 26th meeting of the Albany County Public Works Committee. My name is Nate Bruce. I serve as the chair of the committee. Would majority council please call the roll?
Sure, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Brewski.
Here.
O'Brien.
Here.
Bergdorf.
Here.
Cleary. Fine. Tunney.
Here.
Peter. Reinhardt.
Here.
And Smith.
I see Mr. Smith. I
think that's Mr. Smith down there. 6 present, Mr. Chairman.
And the rest are excused. All right, outstanding. First item is to approve the previous meeting minutes. Can I get a motion on that?
Motion.
By Mr. O'Brien, second by Mr. Reinhardt. All in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed say no. All right, thank you very much. Under current business, our first item is meeting resolution 512 for 2021 regarding the maintenance of designated snowmobile trails in Albany County, amending the 2022 Department of Economic Development, Conservation and Planning budget. Someone from planning.
Yes, good evening. This is Laura DeGatano.
Welcome.
Thank you. In the 2022 snowmobile trail maintenance grant, during the closeout for this grant, we realized that the Parks Department had miscalculated the money due to one of the clubs. It's based on trail miles, and they had miscalculated the trail miles. So they're due another $336.
Thank you, Ms. DeGatano. Any questions from the members? Mr. Bergdorf.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Bergdorf, second by Mr. Reinhardt. All in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed say no. All right, that carries. Thank you very much. Moving on to Mr. Belber's item under current business number 2, authorizing a lease agreement with Orthopedics New York LLC regarding suite number 6 at the MVP Arena.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a long-term suite tenant of the arena. Pretty simple and easy renewal. They did pay some money during the closure period, which we're crediting within this lease, identical to the rest of the suite leases that have been approved, and ask for a renewal to be approved on this as well.
Thank you, as always, Mr. Belber. Any questions, or can we get a motion on this one?
Motion, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. O'Brien, second by Mr. Reinhardt. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed say no. That carries unanimously.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Belber. Next, Mr. Latina. Item number 3, authorizing agreements with New York State Industries for the disabled regarding custodial services at the Judicial Center.
Good evening, Chairman. This is under the 686 program for the New York court system. This is a 5th and final year of the contract for $153,058. We're assuming there's going to be a prevailing wage of 15% on July 2nd or July 1st, which we haven't heard yet from NYSED. And this is 53% county, 47% state. Or actually, I'm sorry, it's 53% state, 47% county.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any questions from the member on this item? Mr. Reinhardt.
Yeah, my question is that the cost allocation between state and county, would that be true regardless of who we hired, or is that because we're partnering with NYSED on this work?
No, the agreement, the percentages are for what the courts are actually using in those buildings. The county courthouse, the judicial center, we have a certain percent we figured out we use 47%, roughly 47% of the building. The courts use 53%, so that's where the
so we're sharing the cost between users there. That's what that is.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Any other questions? And we'll note Mr. Fine's presence in the committee. Any other questions from members?
Just a quick one for Dave.
Mr. Bergdorf.
You talked about a 15%, or was it $15 per hour or a 15% raise?
Well, we projected a 15 in the contract itself. In the original contract, it states on the 1st of July or before August 1st, if there's a prevailing wage increase, we need to pay that prevailing increase. We don't know what that is, but we put the 15% in there. It doesn't
Okay.
mean we're going to
Got it.
use the 15%.
Got it. Thank you.
All right. Can we get a motion on this item? By Mr. Reinhardt, seconded by Mr. Tunney. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. And that also carries. Next item for Ms. Latina is authorizing agreements with New York State Industries for the disabled about the family court building. We did the judicial center, now it's the family court building.
Yes, this is under the exact same program, the 686. The only difference in this is that we're reimbursed by 79% for the actual cost of this contract.
Okay. Mr. Reinhardt,
I want to move the motion.
moved by Mr. Reinhardt, seconded by Mr. Bergdorf. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. All right, that also carries. Last item for Commissioner Latina is authorizing agreement with Delta Engineers, Architects, and Surveyors regarding professional architectural and engineering consulting services for various projects at the MVP arena.
Yes, the Department of General Services issued an RFB for consulting services for the MVP arena. Delta Engineers was the winning bidder. We felt that they were the best choice for this under experience of arena work. The reason why we're doing this is our engineering department isn't experts in a lot of the work that needs to be done there as far as lighting, sound, and other portions of an arena that needs. So this would be a $250,000 contract for 2 years in order to start some of these projects and get them done over there.
Mr. Bergdorf.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dave, is this similar to the CT mail contract that we have for the rest of the county?
Yes, it is.
A consultant ready on board to start projects?
Yes,
Is
exactly.
this the first time that this has been done for the MVP?
Yes, this is the first one we've ever done for MVP Arena, because there's a lot of specialty projects going on there that we just can't do as far as the engineering and our engineering goes. So we felt this would be the best choice. What do we know about sound? What do we know about lights? There's a lot of specialty stuff that needs to be done. So this was the best way to do it.
Okay, is that going to free CT mail up to be able to do some more other things for the rest
Well,
of the
CT Mail really hasn't been involved on the arena. CT Mail has just been doing our projects.
Okay.
So that's why we want to get them on board. We have a lot of projects for CT Mail. They're working on, different projects for general services right now. This is really strictly for the MVP.
Okay, thank you very much.
I see my vice chair, Mr. O'Brien, has his hand up, and then I think I saw Mr. Reinhardt had his hand up.
I was just gonna offer up to move this.
All right, Mr. Reinhardt, are you trying to move, or do you have a question?
Actually, it's kind of scary to think about this, but Paul Bergdorf asked the exact same questions that I had in mind.
The minds are finally.
I will take this now that I have the floor. I will second Joe's motion to vote on this one.
Outstanding. We have a motion, a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. That carries. Thank you, Commissioner Latina. Have a great
Thank you,
evening.
Chairman.
Let's see. Item number 6 under current business is authorizing agreement with the Sprint Communications Company LP regarding relocation of buried fiber optic lines along the Albany County Rail Trail bridge over New Scotland Road, which I believe we were talking about at the very beginning of the meeting.
Yep.
Commissioner.
I feel like this project has been going on for 4 years because it kind of has. So we're getting very close. This is the agreement with Sprint that will pay for them to temporarily and then permanently relocate their fiber optic line that currently runs across the existing bridge. So prior to construction, which is going to happen next year, Sprint will come in this fall and temporarily relocate the fiber on poles. The bridge will be replaced in the springtime and throughout the summer. And once the bridge is replaced, Sprint will go ahead and then relocate them again onto the new structure. The estimated cost for the relocation is approximately $199,000 per an agreement that is attached in the backup material. I'm requesting an amount not to exceed $250,000, just in case there's anything unforeseen, and considering the Sprint estimate was done back in February of 2022.
Thank you, Commissioner Raimondo. I see Mr. O'Brien has his hand. Is that still up from last time?
Yeah,
There we go. Mr. Reinhardt.
Yeah, Lisa, this is sort of a background question. Some of my constituents have commented that they heard, this is sort of grapevine stuff, right? They heard that there were legal issues around the bridge repair work, and so there was some sort of a holdup. And isn't this issue with Sprint, this is the legal issue that was causing the delay, isn't it?
No, this is above and beyond. There was an additional legal issue that I think law could comment better on, that had to do, with an issue between older costs, for like that happened when Sprint had to relocate their fiber back when the rail trail was developed.
Oh,
But
okay.
I don't really
So it
have
was with
all of
Sprint.
that.
It's a different legal issue, but it is with Sprint.
It is with Sprint, yes, because that legal issue wasn't solved. We thought we needed to hold up the project until that issue was solved.
Okay, but that has been
That's
solved now.
separate and apart from this.
And that has been solved now.
I believe it has.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
Yep,
All right, thank you.
sure.
Any other questions on this item or a motion?
I'll move it.
Motion by Mr. Reinhardt, and get a second.
second,
Mr. O'Brien. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. That's unanimous. All right, your next item, Commissioner, is amending the 2022 Department of Public Works budget, consolidate local street and highway improvement programs, CHIPS, Pave New York, and extreme winter recovery funding. So it sounds like we have quite a bit of money coming in through CHIPS, 6 million. POP is about $500,000. Is that right?
Yes, yes. So a little background on it. So each year the state provides us with CHIPS, Pave New York, and extreme winter recovery monies. This year is the first year that they have added to that pot of funding. POP is short for Pave Our Potholes. That portion of the money must be spent on resurfacing and roadway reconstruction only. So it wouldn't be, we wouldn't be able to use that for, say, a bridge replacement project. Much like Pave New York money as well. Pave New York is strictly for repaving. That said, each year in our budget, we start out with 3.53 million plus or minus. And when we get our CHIPS award in the spring, we then amend our budget to reflect the additional amount that we received from the state that is above and beyond the 3.53 million. Some of the things that we expect to purchase with the money, well, to go ahead and actually we're in the middle of this contract now, our hauling and placing contract with Callahan Industries. We purchase pipe and equipment rentals for all of our roadway projects, new cold storage building in Rensselaerville, and 2 new loaders. And so there's obviously listed on this cover letter, we don't have $6 million worth of expenses here. We're accounting for the fact that we always like to have extra money for emergency projects that come up. Also, we are expecting that next year's hauling and placing we're going to do more lane miles of road, and we expect the asphalt and paving prices to go up considerably. So we want to have a buffer in our budget for next year.
Outstanding, always good to have that buffer. Any questions to the members?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Bergdorf.
Lisa, how much money is currently available out of the total CHIPS that you were going to roll over for next year?
That is a very good question, and I do
Sort
have
of ballpark. I mean, are we talking
So what I can tell
hundreds
you,
of millions?
Yep, I can say you need to take out about 1.07 million of that, of the monies that are being allocated, because, for example, the extreme winter recovery this year shows a rollover of $657,000. That money is already spent and earmarked on items that we purchased and are still waiting to receive. Since we haven't received those items yet, the state shows that money still being available, but we know that it's already earmarked and been spent. So you can really take away that 657. So we have the 422 truly to spend for new purchases. We roll over the entire amount from an accounting standpoint, just to show that we're accepting this money in. But here at our office, we account for the fact that because there's a difference in timeline between when we put our annual budget together and when last year's expenses are actually realized, that there is going to be a difference. So this kind of artificially shows more money available. So you could really take away about 1.07 million is already earmarked.
My only question was, when you talk about having more surplus next year,
Yep.
Heaven knows what the cost of asphalt petroleum is going to be next year. Have you given any thought to accelerating the program, some parts of the program this year under the current pricing that you have locked in by the bids?
We really have not. We haven't, no, because the contract, from a timing perspective, when we don't get this award and know what it's going to be until after we have our hauling and placing contract, ready for bid. So from a timing perspective, we wouldn't have, there wasn't enough time to add stuff to we couldn't just assume that we were getting more money. Do you know what I mean?
Got it.
Then also the contractors at this point, like once we accept this money, they're so busy with all of their work that it would be hard for them to take on like anything substantial, like at a later date. But
Okay,
it's
I
food for
understand. I get it. You're based on anticipated funding levels and you can't commit it, and it's
Yeah.
tough to gear up, but I just wondered if that was a possibility. Thank you very much for the clarification.
Sure.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. O'Brien,
would you like to move this, please? Motion?
moved by Mr. O'Brien, seconded by Mr. Reinhardt. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. That also carries unanimously. And our final item of the evening, item number 8 under current business, authorizing agreement with James H. Malloy, Inc. regarding the Waterville Shaker Road roadway improvement phase 3 tree clearing and grading project in the great town of Colony.
Yep. So this contract is for stump removal and grading along Waterville Shaker in preparation for the roadway construction that's going to happen next spring. We received 2 bids for the project. Malloy was the low bidder at $377,000. Newcastle came in at approximately $8,000 higher at $385,000. And this is 100% county funded.
All right. Any questions from members?
Yeah, I just,
Mr. Tunney.
Commissioner, are all the trees, is that removal process complete?
That's a good question. There's a few more trees, but that is the bulk of it.
Okay, I was
That's
just
the
wondering.
bulk of it. And so now, yeah, it's not like, there's not going to be any like more major clear cutting the way
Okay.
it was. And the new contract is going to have a very extensive landscaping plan to replenish trees that will be able to grow and not interfere with the new utility poles.
Great. Thank you.
Mhm.
Can we get a motion on this item?
Motion, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. O'Brien, seconded by Mr. Bergdorf. All those in favor say aye.
I,
Aye. Any opposed say no. That carries. Thank you, Commissioner. That brings us to
Thank
the
you.
end of our agenda today. There's no other business. I'd like to get a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. O'Brien, second by Mr. Reinhardt. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed say no. All right, and that does it. Thank you very much, everyone. I appreciate your attendance. Have a great